Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. I'm Shakaama. Click the thumbs up or thumbs down button right now. It doesn't mean you love me or hate me. All it means is you're interacting with the video. That's all it means. Today we're going to talk about Unity. Unity, the game engine, not Unity as in, it would be great if I were to talk about Unity humanity, because it would literally mean that our government would be the libertarian ideal, which is a very tiny government that does not impact your life and doesn't collect trillions of dollars in taxes. That is outrageous to me. That should be outrageous to you. But that's not what this video is about, so I'm going to stop getting sidetracked. Unity, the game engine. Unity is a game engine, as in you download the program and you can make your entire video game with their program. For the most part, you can use it for free, meaning you can make a full video game and play it yourself all for free. You can make it perfect all for free and play it by yourself. If you want to make money, then you enter into a contract, and their contract is one-sided. They make the contract. You don't make an agreement with them or anything like that. I'm sure if you're a big enough gaming studio, you probably have some say in the contract, but for the most part, it's a one-sided contract. Unity decided that they would revamp their contract and said that they are going to charge per download of your game. So you've made your video game and you want to make money off of it and by selling it to people, right? So what your options are, you can create your own website and people can download your video game from your website. That's one option. Another option is you can upload your video game to Steam and people can download your video game from Steam. There's also Microsoft Store, Google Play Store, and some other stuff like that, right? For whatever your option you decide to make money off of your game, Unity said when people not only pay for the game, which they get a cut from, but if they download the game and for each and every download, they want a fee. This is unheard of. And the industry is recoiling and rebelling because it doesn't just affect Unity, it affects everybody in the industry. Because if that becomes the standard, then you're going to have people making their own games and their own engines and possibly not uploading to Steam, not uploading to Google Play Store, not uploading to Microsoft Play Store. Why? Because then those people will want a cut and an install fee if people will go for it. Well, people did not go for it. To the tune of $1 billion. That's right. This has now been an immediate backlash of $1 billion. What's going on? Well, the people, big giant studios said, no, we're not going to pay you a fee for every download because you have games where people have uploaded the video game and the video game is free to the consumer, completely free. And that means that particular, I'm forgetting his name right now, that particular game developer would have to pay Unity $5 million because his game was so successful, but totally free. How did he make money? He made money from in-game purchases. So the game itself was free. Then he had inside of the game little things that you could buy inside the game. Very, very profitable. Free game, inside game purchases. So he would have had to pay $5 million for a game that was free because of the download fee. So then the game manufacturers, I guess, got on a call, sent emails or whatever, and then they came to Unity and said, we are no longer going to advertise our games with you, Unity. That meant something like $500 million worth of advertising dollars completely gone. And they were talking about $1 billion for a year gone. And they said change this or we're not going to do. So change your policy that you greedily made to get money, and the incentive is you're going to lose far more than you could ever. They've already lost far more than they can ever gain from the fees, because the immediate backlash was people completely switching away from Unity. That was immediate. That was the immediate overnight. That was gone. Public relations is an actual thing. I went to law school. A part of law school is learning in intellectual properties, public relations. It is actual. You can quantify it to cash money. What is the reputation of a company? That is worth money. When I started talking online, when I started talking to people on Discord, when I started talking to people on Twitter, now known as X, they said, I will never go back to Unity. I've already made my decision, and there's nothing that they can say. I believe the CEO stepped down, and they said, there is nothing that they can do now. They have thrown away my trust in them. But here's the thing. This is not all of a sudden. And the backlash is not all of a sudden. This backlash came so swiftly, not because of this change in fees, but the change in fees did, of course, contribute to it. But Unity has been making changes to their contract over the past several years. So this is a straw that broke the camel's back. The people have already left Unity. And here's the deal. Unreal Engine, which has far fewer users than Unity. Unity is huge. They have millions and millions of users, clients, and they have a huge community such that if you have a question, you can go and ask it of the Unity community, and you could possibly get hundreds of thousands of answers. That's a good thing. That means your question is answered. Versus Unreal has a very small community, small use. In terms of, we're talking about millions. We're talking about a million versus millions and millions, right? But Unreal, the CEO, has a completely different philosophy. What's his philosophy? Well, you can say that Unreal does some underhanded stuff. What is the underhanded stuff that Unreal does? The underhanded stuff that people have complaints about is their dances. They are literally made famous on Vine or TikTok or even YouTube Shorts, and they make little dances, and they become famous and they become rich off of those dances. And when people do the dances, people say, oh, that's from Guy Smiley. People literally recognize the dance and the person. That is a brand. Under the law, that's quantifiable in money, right? Unreal steals those dances, and you can pay for the dance in Fortnite. They have gone to court over these dances, and the courts have said you cannot register or trademark movement. If you look at the very famous singer Beyonce, she did an entire music video, where she completely copied Fosse, and people were up in arms about it. But under the law, under the court rulings, you can't trademark dances. Fred Astaire can't trademark a dance to the point where Michael Jackson could use the moves. And the two enjoyed a friendship because Michael Jackson, first of all, could move like Fred Astaire, and second of all, did move like Fred Astaire in certain. Michael Jackson did not steal Fred Astaire's entire shtick. He just did an homage to Fred Astaire in a very small move, right? And in a whole 2-3 hour show, he did like 5 seconds of a move that Fred Astaire enjoyed it. You can trademark songs. You can trademark a song. I'm talking about lyrics, tune, melody, but the courts have now come out and said sampling is okay. Sampling is legal, because nobody is confused that Bing Crosby is rapping. Nobody's confused that Frank Sinatra is rapping. The idea is that you have sung a song that somebody else created and you are infringing on their enjoyment to keep selling their song once they've created it. So this is why you have the whole term cover, right? You're covering a song, meaning that you are singing the same exact song that somebody else created. And what's funny is some of the actual songwriters can now be sued if they go and try and sing their own song because somebody else initially sang the song, right? So your own song you can be sued over. Okay, that being said, Unreal Engine, the Unreal CEO has the idea that they make money hand over fist from Fortnite to such a degree. It is a money printing machine. I don't think people understand how big, how gigantic, how profitable Fortnite is. And when we talk about them stealing these dances, when they come out with a dance and people can buy the dance in Fortnite, they make millions of dollars from the dance. And this is why people, of course, are going to court saying, hey, that's my dance. And the court says you can't trademark movement, which is silly. You can trademark everything else. You can trademark everything else about stuff. You can trademark clothing. You can trademark everything else. The song, the lyrics, the melody. You can trademark all of that. Copyright all of that stuff. But you can't trademark movement. Seems weird. Seems strange. Seems like Unreal Engine has a way more power than they should be in the court. And probably way more money. Well, there's no probably to it. They have way more money than some little guy who made a couple of million off of his funny dance on TikTok or Vine or Twitter or whatever. But Unreal Engine or Epic Games makes millions of dollars just from dropping a new dance in Fortnite. And Fortnite itself makes millions of dollars. So, that being said, he's of the opinion that I already have way more money than I could ever, than my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandkids could ever dream of spending. I want to make my Epic Games as big as Unity. I told you Unity is much bigger, right? So what does he do? Once a month in his game engine that you could also make your own video game from, he gives away free assets every month. Once a month. He also gives away free actual games that other people have made. Once every week and a half, something like that. A whole game. And during Christmas, it's 5 games. Also, his contract for the gaming side of it, like I said, you can make your own video game and play it all by yourself for free. Unity says if you then upload it and then sell the game, that's when they want a piece of it. And then their new development is that they are going to take a fee for when people download the game. So that means even if it's free, they want you to pay the fee. Well, Unreal's contract is far more lenient than everybody's. And once again, we see that the attitude of the Epic Games CEO, I follow him on Twitter. I can't remember his name. He is suing Microsoft. The two are suing each other. He's suing them, something like that, over rights. They tried to remove the Epic Games from the Apple Play Store. I'm not familiar with the case, so I can't give you any facts about the case, nor any details whatsoever. Anyway, the contract for the Unreal Engine is much more lenient. He says you can sell your game and it's completely free up to when you sell a million copies in like a quarter or a year, something like that, whatever it is. And they clarified if you ever drop down back to something like 50,000 copies or something like that, it goes back to being completely free. So the people buy the game and Epic Games says, if you're wildly successful, we want to cut. But before and after that, it's free. You keep all of the money for your sales. Unity does not have that. Now, because of the boycott and because of the actual developer saying that we're no longer going to pay you advertising money to the tune of $1 billion loss, they said they're going to do away with the fee, and they said we're going to lower our cut to 4%. Unreal Engine is 5%, but Unreal Engine has another thing. If you put your game on the Epic Play Store and people buy from the Epic Play Store, I believe it's also free. I think you pay for housing the game on the Epic Play Store. I think that's about it, which is nothing. What I think is happening is they are accepting that this is free marketing because each individual game developer is going to say, go buy my game on Epic Game Store. So the people go to the Epic Game Store, and while they're there, they tend to buy other games, or they see other free things because Epic is always giving away free stuff, and they become a loyal customer from the advertising that the game developer did to get them to the Epic Game Store themselves. So I believe you don't pay anything if you upload your game to Epic Game Store. And I don't know if it's exclusively Epic Game Store, but it might be exclusively, but I know they said free, that they don't charge you anything. It's fantastic. Now, let's talk about the actual engine. Unity is a game engine. Unity concentrates on 2D. So all of the 2D games, all of the cartoony games, that's Unity's strong suit. Epic Games can do 2D, but if people are giving you advice, they normally say, go with Unity for 2D. Okay, so right out of the box, Epic Games is all about 3D and AAA looking video games with hyper-realistic games. Games that look like it is actually real life. Or graphics that are just so amazing they just blow you away. That is what Unreal Engine is known for. However, Unreal Engine has expanded their stuff to also include architectural visualization, ArcViz. They have purchased a Twinmotion. I believe they purchased Twinmotion, or they partnered with Twinmotion. And you can use Twinmotion by yourself for free. If you want to do commercial stuff with it and make money off of it, you still have to pay money. Also, Epic Games does commercials. You can use Unreal Engine to make a full-blown TV commercial with product placement and all that sort of stuff, right? You can do advertisement yourself using Unreal Engine. Also, people make movies. The Mandalorian is made with Unreal Engine. The technology behind The Mandalorian is Unreal Engine. They no longer have green screens. They have these huge semicircle panels, and the actor stands in front of the semicircle panel, and the semicircle panel has the graphics of Tatooine, Mos Def. I don't know. I'm not up on my Star Wars. I'm sorry. Anyway, the actors stand in front of the panels, and the panels look, like I said, hyper realistic. So it looks like the actor really is in the desert, in the jungle, in the forest, in a cantina, but they're literally standing in a studio. And it also means that you don't have to create an entire environment. You don't have to create a bar. You don't have to create a desert. You stand in front of these panels and Unreal projects the stuff onto the screen and boom. Also, you can make movies yourself with Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine has expanded and expanded and expanded to cover anything visual that you could possibly think of. Unity has stuck with basically the 2D, and they've expanded into the visual graphics or the visual programming. Unreal Engine has visual programming, and I believe when you compare them side by side, Unreal Engine is far more in depth. You could, if you were a master of the visual programming for Unreal Engine, be equivalent to an actual programmer at the end of the day. When you have mastered it and used it for 5-10 years, you are on par with an actual program. And there are some optimizations that you, as a person who uses the visual programming to such an extent that you can almost get near perfect optimization from using the visual programming called blueprints. Unity has visual programming, but their concentration is to make it so that every Tom, Dick, and Harry can create a game using their visual program. And they make it so easy and make it easier and easier and easier. But this also means that they're not picking out bugs. They're not covering glitches. And so you have, some people have said, an unusable engine because they don't concentrate on bug fixes. And that's Unity. They're relying on their huge community because they were one of the first. So because they're one of the first, more people use them. It's not a better product. By far, Unreal Engine is a better product, hands down. And now, because of this financial thing, the financial side of the contract, it is a no-brainer. You go with Unreal Engine. I think I've covered everything. Thank you all for watching. Thumbs up. If this is of particular interest to you, please leave a comment and say, this is great. You should cover this all the time.